Okay, so the not much talked about resentment between Lionel Messi and Robert Lewandowski has not shown any signs of going away, especially after the Bayern Munich striker questioned why the Argentine did not vote for him as the best player on the planet. I'm sure that these two will be having a war of words soon. We also need to talk about Mauricio Pochettino's time as the manager of PSG, since it's definitely coming to an end. Olivier Giroud turned back the clock as AC Milan won the Derby della Madonnina at the expense of bitter rivals Inter Milan. We're also going to talk about Barcelona's big deal with Spotify, which will be formalised in a few days. Antony is making waves in the Netherlands, and it's clear that Ajax won't be able to hold on to their talented winger for long. So the Amsterdam club have decided to put a price tag on their Brazilian star. Olympique Lyon lost 2-0 to AS Monaco in a game that they should have won, and manager Peter Bosz was in a bad mood. Before we get started, we want to share the sponsor of today's video. The OneFootball app is the ultimate football platform and is a must-have for every football fan, so that you can follow all of your favourite leagues, teams and players all the time right from your phone. You can be sure to turn on notifications for specific players to be instantly alerted when they score a goal or when they are involved in other breaking news. It is the best and easiest way to stay up to date with everything football. Click the link in the description down below to download the app right now. You won't regret it. After suffering a defeat at Stade Louis II, Lyon manager Peter Bosz did not mince his words regarding the performance of his players, but did not neglect his share of responsibility in the setback. By losing to AS Monaco through goals from former players Jean Lucas and opposing captain Wissam Ben Yedder, Olympique Lyonnais not only suffered a shock defeat against a great foe, but it also dropped them further and further away from the qualifying places for the Champions League, which is the usual objective of Lyon in Ligue 1. This was a setback that Bosz did not accept, and understandably he was furious with his players at the post-game press conference. "We were very bad tonight. When you don't win a duel, when it's always an opportunity when the ball is behind the defence, we can talk about the system, but that's not it. I was very happy that it was only 2-0 at half-time. It was not good on our part. We absolutely do not deserve to take a point. I changed 3 players at half-time, but normally I should have changed 9 or 10. Without Lopez in goal, it's 3 or 4 to 0. However, the Dutch tactician also assumed his share of responsibility. The former Ajax manager said that the defeat was a collective fault rather than something that can only be pinned on the players. Nonetheless, January signings Tanguy Ndombele and Fevre did very well when they were called upon, and their roles will be immense as Lyon look to return to winning ways. When we talk about the stars of tomorrow, we often talk about players like Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland and Vinicius Jr., and rightly so of course, but there is one player that we tend to forget: Antony. And yet the right winger is having a hell of a season with Ajax at the age of 21, displaying a disconcerting ability to eliminate his opponents. And while there have been a few Premier League rumours in recent months, it can't be said that his future is making headlines. And if we trust the information from De Telegraaf, we understand a little better why. Indeed, Ajax are claiming more than 60 million euros for their Brazilian star, a substantial amount to say the least, at a time when many big European clubs are in financial difficulty. Therefore, we're still wondering who will make a move for the youngster. And inevitably, the name of Paris Saint-Germain with its Brazilian contingent is mentioned, which does not mean that the capital club will go after the player, but then again things have a way of changing. This is an interesting rumour in any case, since Leonardo is still worried about the future of Kylian Mbappe that seems to lie well and truly far from the French capital. Antony's profile seems to correspond to what Mauricio Pochettino or Zinedine Zidane could need if the latter finally took control of the Ligue 1 leaders. This is one of the big challenges for the management of Joan Laporta, finding sources of income to cope with the terrible financial situation that the club is going through. And in this type of situation, the people don't want to weaken the team. It necessarily involves signing contracts and sponsors. The Catalan team's deal with Rakuten, its shirt sponsor, expires in June, and the Japanese giants have already indicated that they will not extend the deal. The search for a jersey sponsor was therefore at the heart of management's concerns, and it finally found it. This is Spotify, a music streaming platform well known around the world, which seems to have wanted to enter the world of football for several years now, with its owner having already tried to buy Arsenal. The Swedish owner is looking to pay the Spanish giant 60 million euros annually to have his company's logo appear on the jersey and training kit. That's 5 million more per year than what Rakuten were paying. However, the exact duration of the contract isn't known yet. Nonetheless, the deal seems to be really good for the club given their sporting situation, financial problems, and the departure of Messi, three elements that have impacted Barcelona as a brand. Moreover, the sponsorship deal will not be the only thing. The two parties are currently discussing the naming rights of the Camp Nou and are also financing the improvements on Espai Barça, the club's youth training centre. The Catalans are also in talks with crypto trading platform Polkadot for the shirt sleeve sponsorship, so perhaps the Blaugrana will be slightly richer in the next few months. It was Olivier Giroud's first ever Madonina derby on Saturday evening. The Frenchman replaced the injured Zlatan Ibrahimovic and scored a double that completely turned the game on its head. The result has relaunched the Rossoneri's race for the Scudetto, and the Frenchman was at the heart of everything. That Zlatan Ibrahimovic is missing is disappointing. We have made a lot of progress with him, but we have to show that we are also strong without him, said Stefano Pioli at the pre-match press conference. One thing is certain, Olivier Giroud has received the message. Starting at the forefront of the Rossoneri attack, the French international quite simply splashed the Italian derby with his talent, a performance that's all the more appreciable in view of the challenges of this meeting. Third at kickoff, AC Milan could, in fact, completely relaunch the title race by winning against their bitter rivals and leaders of the Serie A. However, it wasn't just the former Chelsea man who was at his best. Mike Maignan had an amazing game, making several decisive saves in the first half. Initially, AC Milan struggled to get into their rhythm, with Giroud also cutting a forlorn figure at the tip of the attack. It was definitely a frustrating half, and the veteran striker admitted that he was finding it tough at the start. However, the 35-year-old, along with the rest of his teammates, came out of the dressing room for the second half in a different mood. It was a completely different Milan from the one that struggled during the first half. On the personal level, this was an important performance for Giroud, who had been criticised in recent months and wasn't given enough chances either. In a career that has recently been plagued by doubts, the Frenchman put on a great performance, which gives Milan hope that they can remain competitive with or without Zlatan. Okay, so when it comes to Robert Lewandowski not winning the Ballon d'Or this year, there's no such thing as water under the bridge. While he might be sugarcoating his words, the truth is that the Polish international is not happy that Messi won the award ahead of him, especially after he was denied the prize in 2020 when the award ceremony was cancelled. And it appears that the Bayern Munich striker hasn't moved on, with the veteran stating that he isn't sure why Messi did not vote for him ahead of Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, and even Karim Benzema. It is difficult for me to relate to it, Lewandowski told the Polish publication Piłka Nożna. I voted for Messi because I appreciate what he did in 2021, and of course earlier. Messi voted for me in the Ballon d'Or, and I don't know why his point of view changed later. However, I have no regrets, no complaints. I accepted it, he made his decision, and that's it. At the end of the day, Lewandowski feels that he deserved the award, and if you ask us, the Munich star did. The last 2 years were amazing for him. He scored goals, won titles, and shattered so many records. And even though Messi admitted that his colleague should have gotten the award in 2020, those statements do sort of seem slightly hollow to us, given how he decided to ignore him in this vote, when it was clear how good Lewandowski had been for the past 2 years. To each their own, perhaps?